So the other day, I went out to the movies for the first time in a while with my boy to see Hard Eyes. We both love horror movies, and this caught our attention because it's a little bit different than your typical horror movie in the sense that it's based on a holiday, and also Valentine's Day usually isn't your typical setting for a horror movie. It sort of reminds me in that way of the movie that came out in 2023, I believe, Thanksgiving, where, I mean, you don't typically think of Thanksgiving as a horror movie holiday. Usually, of course, that would be Halloween. But recently, Terrifier 3 did a Christmas based movie, which is also very interesting as well. A little bit less unorthodox, I would say, than Valentine's Day or Thanksgiving, but nonetheless, it seems like that is a trend, just based on those movies I've mentioned. Hard Eyes was a decent film. So I didn't really look much into this movie before I saw it. I knew it was a horror movie, of course. That's the only genre I really go to the theaters to see these days. But I didn't know exactly the concept of it. Just knew it was a Valentine's based horror movie. What I didn't see coming is that it was more so, I don't know if I should call it a parody, but it kind of was. It's like they mixed horror and comedy. They did it fairly well. You know, it's kind of hard to mix horror and comedy and actually make things relatively scary. Of course, you have the Scary Movie franchise and other things like that that do that, but in a different way. Like that's a parody, complete parody, and complete comedy movie. And while this movie did have a lot of comedic elements in it, I would say they had equal amounts of comedic and horror elements. Also, this movie isn't really scary. I mean, especially for someone who watches horror movies. There's jump scares, of course, you get startled, and you know, the gore is okay. I mean, it's not great. A lot of the scenes look very fake, but it's not really trying to look real, if that makes sense. And for that being said, it does look good enough. One scene that comes to mind for me is in the initial opening sequence. The guy's proposing to his girlfriend in the opening scene. The camera guy who's filming or taking pictures of the proposal messes up the shot, and he has like some funny ringtones, like some rap ringtone. I can't remember exactly what it was. It's not that that's funny, but it kind of was because it caught me off guard. And he's on the phone with the guy like, hey, did you get the shot? Get that damn shot. Like, it's just, I didn't expect that. I expected it to be a full horror movie. So right from the start, you get the idea that this is not your typical horror film. But then in that very same sequence, once, spoiler alert, and I'll do a full spoiler breakdown after, and I'll let you guys know when the spoilers are coming. The girlfriend gets trapped in some sort of like compressor. I mean, I'm sure many of you guys will know what it's called. I personally don't. But she actually gets squished like this. And they don't really show her like, you know, being like the bones coming out and stuff like they do in Saw 5 with Peter Strom, Detective Strom, if you guys are Saw fans. Wallace coming in, he gets squished like this, and he's like, ah, and the bones pop out. I mean, that was so fucking fire. But you don't see that. You just see the blood squirting out and stuff. But regardless, it is like you get that feeling like, you know, it's a gory scene. The premise is interesting. Like, it's unique. Sure, it's a unique premise. The killer, he hunts down lovers, or they hunt down lovers. The main character, the girl, the main character, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but it didn't really. I mean, I'm gonna forget. This is not a movie that will like go down in history or anything. I don't remember the characters' names, any of them actually, for that matter. But anyway, the female lead, she is kind of obsessed with her ex-boyfriend due to the fact that he moved on faster than she did. So she's like stalking him and stuff, and then she comes across this guy who she thinks is attractive. The male lead, she thinks he's attractive, but she's not really into him. Maybe that's because she's still into her ex. Maybe she just doesn't really like him like that. Whatever the case may be, that's not really explained that well to my memory. They run into her ex, and in a way of her saying, oh, I'm over you type of thing, she kisses the guy that she's with. the ex walks away, and then shortly after, Hard Eyes comes out, attacks. Now, Hard Eyes believes them to be a couple due to the fact that they kissed, and later on they say like, "Oh, the chemistry when you kissed was so." Like, it's just kind of like a play on romantic films, I think, which it's kind of funny, kind of corny, but I think they want it to be corny. They want it to be like a funny, corny kind of thing. And it did have its moments. There were moments where I was watching the film and I was like, "This is hilarious. This is pretty funny." Like, I was not expecting to go in there to laugh. I was expecting there to go in and, not that I thought it would be really horrifying or anything, but have those few moments where you're like, "Whoa!" Jump back in your seat from a jump scare, and there definitely were those too. Again, it has a really good balance. But anyway, spoiler alert. I'll go into the ending now. Hard Eyes actually turns out, and one more time, guys, as that was quick. I'm new to this. My first television, my first movie review. If you guys know me or recognize me, I actually have a couple other YouTube accounts where I do other things besides movies. This is something that I'm really interested in, and I want to see where this goes. So if this video does do well, I will put a lot more effort into these videos, and you'll see that through the content. And that's my first video on this channel, so I want to see how it does and how you guys like my opinions. But if you guys think you like my opinions and you want to hear more, let me know in the comments, and I will review possibly Monkey next. And also, I'll review movies closer to their air date. So, spoilers here. So, Hard Eyes actually turns out to be not one, not two, but 3 different people, which is really interesting. I mean, it's a common twist, kind of like Scream, where there turned out to be 2 Screams, 2 killers, I mean, but there's actually 3, which is kind of funny. So, one guy is just a completely random dude, right? Like, you never see him in the entire movie before. That's the first one that's unmasked. They're at the drive-through movies, and Hard Eyes is searching for them, killing people left and right. And they're hiding in this van. And another instance how this is funny, they're hiding in the front of the van, and in the back of the van, there's these 2 like hippie-ish couples that are having sex. And it didn't make me laugh or anything, but it's just, some people might think it's funny. But anyway, they get killed after a while, and they actually get noticed because the noises from the sexual intercourse is what gives them away. Which is weird because, Hard Eyes wasn't killing anybody before that, so once he heard them these random people having sex, he just opened it up, and was like, they must be in there because these people are having sex. Not really sure how that gave it away. Yes, so he kills those people, those couples having sex, and he just seems so eager to kill everybody except the main characters, right? Like, he'll do some like ninja moves to kill people from hundreds of feet, 50 feet away, or whatever. But when it comes to the 2 main characters, they just get away with everything. Anyway, they kill him with the dagger that or the sword that he uses to kill the people having sex, and they don't recognize this person at all. So then they go into this old abandoned building, and they find out that the other 2 Hard Eyes killers are from the police station, and it's found that they kill people because it's a fetish. They're a couple, and it's their fetish to kill people. Is what it comes down to, more or less. The kill sequences there are okay. I mean, there's this one where the male of the couple gets like burned, and that is one of the tougher ones, out of the kills. I mean, it's just pretty much a normal slasher film, swords, knives, and stuff like that. So that's one of the ones that stood out to me a bit more out of all the kills. The female gets decapitated, which is that's also one of the top ones for me as well. Like, she gets her throat, sword through her throat, and she's like hanging up on this statue, and she's like just slowly, her body falls from her head, which is that one gave me a little bit of heebie-jeebies. It wasn't really too bad though. The guy who got burned is still alive, and you know, I kind of saw that one coming. I'm not sure if they wanted to make that obvious or not, but just a typical horror twist. The guy's still alive. He starts crawling towards them, and they just do a boop, and he's dead, which again was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean that's just about it. There was more after that, but I don't think anything really that stood out to me as important to tell. You know, the male and the female lead do end up getting together after this whole ordeal, and I don't blame them. I'd probably fall in love with the person too if I went through all that shit with them. But yeah, it was an okay movie. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on it though, and if I had to rate it myself, I'd probably give it. This is a tough one because the movie was kind of good, but at the same time, it was terrible. But it's kind of one of those things where if you enjoy movies that are so bad they're good, then you'll probably love it. If you enjoy Thanksgiving, you'll probably like this movie. And I mean, it's interesting just for the fact that it's a Valentine's Day horror movie, which is very unusual, and the way they blend the comedy and horror is again really unique and decent. If I had to give an honest score, it'd probably be a 5.2 out of 10. And I'm sure if I keep making these videos, you guys will see that I rank films much lower than that. That's an absolutely completely honest score. I did enjoy this movie. It was slightly above average, 5 being average. So I do recommend, if you're a horror film enthusiast like I am, to definitely check it out. You will not regret it. It won't be on your top 5 lists of all time, top 10 even, top 100 probably, but you will enjoy it. You'll have a good time. You'll have a good laugh, a couple jump scares. It's worth it. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video and you want to see more content, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment of what you thought of Hard Eyes if you've seen it, and what movie you want to see me review. Planning on reviewing new movies, but I'll also review old ones if it's wanted by the viewers. And catch you guys next time. Peace.